Ramblin' Man Moto here. It's the day after the election. Hubba, hubba, hubba. I know all the websites say the world is shocked. I honestly don't know why that a candidate that could not win a single delegate vote 4 years ago and dropped out before the first primary vote because she was so unpopular, the fact that she couldn't win isn't shocking to me. But at the same time, I will admit, I too am a bit pleasantly surprised in my fellow Americans. Disappointed in my home state of Virginia. What happens in Virginia is, like, we had a company relocate their corporate headquarters from New York to Richmond because we're such a great state to do business in, low taxes, not a lot of regulation, historically, low cost of living. And then these New Yorkers move here and immediately set about trying to turn this into the mess they left. And that's a very real thing. And in Northern Virginia, every election, one party is leading all night until the votes from Northern Virginia, which is where all the people that work in D.C. live, at least on the Virginia side of the line. And, you know, they're living off the government teat. And they believe in big government because they are part of the big government. And then all the votes swing back the other way. The fact that we currently have a Republican governor, attorney general, and lieutenant governor, all three obviously won statewide races. They all ran independently of each other. It's not one ticket. And was due to, when that election took place, Governor McAuliffe had told people, and this was going on in Northern Virginia, that told parents they didn't have any business sticking their nose into their kids' education. And, you know, McAuliffe was trying to stand with the teachers union and speaking to them and basically said, no one should be telling you guys how to teach children. It's none of their business. Well, that cost him the election. And the tide of frustration just carried all three. But, you know, we haven't carried any other statewide races there, and Kamala won Virginia. Even if Trump performed better among some numbers and counties, it doesn't matter, because overall she took the state. Just need the majority. I noticed on the results we had a lot of third-party candidates. Some that took votes away from Kamala and some that took votes away from Trump. I think she still would have won if we'd had no third-party candidates. Like, why is anybody voting for Cornel West? Like, what is the point of voting 1,500 people or so, whatever the number was when I looked last night, to vote for Cornel West for president? Because I was running on 2 hours sleep and I had to get up to go where I'm going right now, somewhere. I stayed up till about, I don't know, midnight before I finally had to cave. Election night's kind of like my version of the NBA Finals and the Super Bowl. It's one of the nights I like to sit up. I got multiple monitors open, got my phone refreshing, some stuff playing on streaming, state and local. Here in Virginia, there's an election every year for something. Man, I tell you, it's going to get up to 80 today here, but I decided to put the windshield back on. It gets hot behind this windshield. My sun visor's been fogging up. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to work with it, because if I lock my visor in, it gets hot real quick. I may talk more about the election later. If anybody even has interest, I have a feeling they do not. But some of you may. But I'm kind of a news junkie. I've tried to unplug from some of it. Just because life is happier, but you got to stay engaged. All right, my man put on my 2 new tires yesterday. and did my oil change while I had it jacked up and could drain it. I put on American Dunlop Elite is the way I went. The same tires I put on my Super Chief. I was gonna go Michelin Commander 2s or 3s, whatever, but there was a perfect match for the front tire. But on the rear tire, I think it was like the height of the tire was slightly different. And even though folks on the forums confirmed for me, and a website too, that it would fit, there was a couple of reports that people said, I don't know if they just was a theory or they actually heard it, that because the tire was a little taller on the rear, that it might bottom out when you're riding and hit. I didn't want to take the chance. These are literally the first 20, 30 miles going on the tire. I've read that some people scrub and wash their tires before they ride. Do you guys do that? I have not. This is the first set of tires I've put on this bike. Let's see. I'm just under 12,000 miles. Now, I didn't put all of those on, but obviously they've had that many miles on the tire. I did put tires on the Super Chief Limited. My tire guy said that the rear tire was definitely ready to be replaced, and the front wheel tire was a little better, but was probably about ready. And that was the same I had measured. I got one of those little tire tread tools, and that's what I was showing as well. On the internal visor here, it's the darkened internal visor that is the one that's fogging up. It's not the clear visor. I just opened the front vent to see if that would help. I normally ride with the front vent closed, and actually when I have the internal sun visor down, I can't feel the air anyway, but as soon as I lift it, I tend to be able to feel it. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't think it's just dirty. I think it's fogging up a little. And that's because when I lift the clear visor, I can see clearly through the sun visor. Because of the bike configuration, I don't have a backrest right now, and it feels kind of funny. I've gotten used to kind of leaning back, relying on that more than I realized. My Corbin should be arriving by tomorrow. There's a small chance it might show up early today. I haven't refreshed the tracking. Often it arrives a day or two early by their tracking from what their original estimate was. All right, so we're got these new tires going, about 70 miles an hour out here. Feeling pretty good. Windscreen is also doing pretty good.